Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be looking at all of the Death Knight changes coming in the Shadowlands. I'm just going to be kind of skimming through everything, going quickly through all three of the specs. So in Blood, one of the biggest changes is you get five new abilities, I apologize. So right off the bat, you get 5 new abilities, starting at level 50. So you get your Chains of Ice, Anti-Magic Shield, Death Coil, Lichborn, and Raise Dead. So everybody should know what Chains of Ice does, Anti-Magic Shield, Death Coil, and all of these new abilities do. However, what people may or may not know is back in the old PvP days, you used to be able to utilize Death Coil with Lichborn. And I feel like this music's a little on the loud side here. Alright, so you used to be able to utilize Lichborn and Death Coil together, and you can become undead because this allows you to also heal an undead target. So you can sit there and spam Death Coil, so a full bar of runing power, spamming Death Coil into yourself while you're an undead with Lichborn, makes you essentially be able to heal back to full, or at least that's how it was previously. One weird thing is that this is a 2-minute cooldown, but it allows you to permanently summon oh no, not permanently, only lasts 1 minute. But it's kind of interesting that they allow you to have a ghoul now, and this is actually an any spec. And this is also going to be a new ability for all classes. So Frost, Blood, and DK. Jeez. Frost, Blood, and Unholy are all three getting this new Sacrificial Pact. So once you hit level 54, you'll end up having that unlocked for everybody as well. So they kind of generalized the abilities, which is kind of nice. One major change that I don't personally like, I liked it better, they've taken away the free trinket. So that's kind of unfortunate. So with Blood, immediately going into this, they removed Tombstone. So Tombstone used to be the 3rd down, which is now Relish of Blood. So Tombstone is now on the top tier, which I like a lot more. That's actually I personally might go with that more than one of these two now, because I didn't really care much for either one of these, but I always ended up picking this just for the extra runic power generation. But now that this is in the tier 1 feat, I feel like that's going to be pretty good. And then the new talent coming over to tier 3, tier 2 is completely the same. And then tier 3 is this, while next Death Strike and Discay heals you for 242 health per bone shield charge and you immediately gain 10 runic power. Might have to play around with it. Doesn't seem that bad. I don't know. Give it a try. And then for this line right here, they replaced Rune Tap for Mark of Blood. Places a Mark of Blood on the enemy for 15 seconds. The enemy damaging attacks will also heal their victim for 3% of the victim's maximum health. 6-second cooldown, not a very long cooldown. Seems okay for healing. I don't know if it's going to be able to beat Necro, but maybe some experimenting. As for this line, they added in Death Pact and took out Mark of Blood. I apologize. Mark of Blood used to be down here in this one, but they took out Rune Tap, put Mark of Blood over here, and then added in Death Pact, which I don't really see the point of. In my opinion, the Bloodworms will probably still be better. So everybody probably knows what Death Pact does. I'm not quite sure what they were going for right there. So other than that, everything else is the same. Moving over to Frost. Oh, in case anybody was wondering, so on live server, I have roughly 900,000 health, roughly. So the tweaks in Blood spec, I'll be going down to 41.7k health. Pretty big crunch there. I kind of feel like we're removing Wrath into Kata. I don't know if those numbers quite add up here. So same thing with this one. Obviously you get your anti-magic shield, you get your death coil, you get your Lichborn, and your raised dead. So again, this is generalized through all of them. For some reason they just automatically decided that everybody gets it, which makes more sense. You're DK, Undead, I feel like these abilities should have been generalized anyways, so kind of glad for that. So with Frost, there isn't very many major changes coming. So everything is the same in these tier, this tier, this tier, this tier, and the only thing that has changed is this new ability right here. Embrace your ice in your veins, reducing the runic power cost of your abilities by 35% for 8 seconds. Does not trigger the global cooldown. 45-second cooldown seems like a decent ability. I personally think it's going to be way stronger than one of these two, maybe? It really just depends on how it holds up with damage over time, but I think this is going to be a great pick instead of one of these two. And then they swapped out, or no, sorry, that's over in Unholy. So, and then everything is the same for Blood and, everything's the same for Blood, Unholy, and Frost for all of the talents. I already took a look at them and I didn't see any differences. So moving over to Unholy. So on live server in my DPS spec, I have roughly 560k health, 550, somewhere around there. So jumping down to 25k health. And then the same thing with Unholy, not a lot has changed. Again, these are all exactly the same. So everything is the same all the way down to right here. So this allows your minion to Dark Transformation creates an unholy pact between you and your pet, igniting flaming change that deals 3,225 shadow damage over 15 seconds to enemies between you and your pet. While active, your strength is increased by 8%. I don't think it's gonna beat Unholy Frenzy. 20% haste is still pretty crazy, also with the auto attacks and inflicting festering, especially since I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we're going to be able to dual wield in Unholy, or was it Frost is getting to wear two-handers now? Let's test this out. Throw this on, throw this on. Nope, can't dual wield in Unholy. Okay, so that does. I was gonna say if you can dual wield in Unholy, man, that would make Unholy Frenzy crazy, but unfortunately they did not change that. So the only changes for this is the the Unholy Pact. Other than that, everything else is exactly the same, as you can see. Other than that, that's about it for DKs. They don't have a lot of changes coming to them, but the little bit of changes that there was, I think they're going to be appreciated. I'm looking forward to Shadowlands, and I'm hoping that it turns out pretty well. So if you liked this video, give me a like and a follow, please. Or throw a comment in what else you would like to see. I can do any classes that you would like to see, and I can transform over or take a look, and I can explain or go in detail about anything you'd like. Alright, have a wonderful day.